Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy MumboElite. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to talk about how to make unlimited coins on club stocking. We're going to go over all the items I'd recommend club stocking. We're going to reference two other videos. So if you haven't seen our how to make unlimited coins on bronze pack method or how to make unlimited coins on silver method, we're going to put those in the description. The trading playlist is there. Feel free to watch those in there for additional context. We'll cover them briefly in this video in terms of how to do them, but for the full tutorials, feel free to watch those videos. But if you do enjoy, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully this helps you make a lot of coins throughout the year. So first and foremost, what is club stocking? At the very simple level, it is getting cards in your club for a cheaper price than they usually are and selling them at a profit. We see a lot of people do this with a lot of meta cards throughout the week. We see a lot of people do this with like informs, all that other stuff. But I don't see a lot of people talk about this with low-end things. So how can you day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month have your coins make you more coins on the low level? How can you really take advantage of maximizing profit on these cards? Let's walk through that right now. So first and foremost, if you've watched our silver video, you'll know that there's times on the market where everything is 200 plus. If we go right now to 200 buy now, you're going to see that everything sells within a minute or two. If we go to 250, you're going to see that everything mainly sells by the end of the hour. You'll have some stuff right now that's currently not selling. So off this, what people will usually do is mass bid 150 coins on a crap ton of cards, and you'll usually win a ton. And if you can't win them for 150, people will start mass bidding 200. And essentially the logic behind this is not only can you make coins in the moment because they go for 250 plus, you could store that in your club, and if we get a daily SBC, if we get marquee matchups, if we get other things on the market, this could rise the minimum of the market to 250 very quickly selling, to 300 very quickly selling, or at least 300 within the hour. And essentially what this does is it gives you guaranteed profit on every single card. You put hundreds, if not thousands of these in your club, and you make a crap ton of coins. And then throughout the week with the marquee matchups with the daily SBCs, you have things that go for 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus in SBC solutions. You can look at footbin.com to kind of get an idea of what that looks like. But I'm going to show you some screenshots real quick of just kind of a simple idea of what this looks like in practical terms of what a daily SBC can do to cards in the market. So here's one. Here's an Argentina card we sold for 1.1K. Daily SBC there. That's a silver rare. Here's another silver rare, 1.5K for a top nation, French silver rare. Let's see if we can find some silver commons here because we have a lot of bronze rares, bronze commons. Here's some. We have some Swedish cards, 500 coins, 500 coins, 400 coins. If we go even further down, you're going to notice we have a lot of things that went for crazy coins last week. For here, Colombians, 2.2 or 2.1, another 2.1. Another 2.1. And a lot of these cards you really wouldn't have picked up unless you got them for a 150 bid because a lot of people wouldn't have seen the value in them. And at the moment, it made sense. It was like, who's really going to want a Colombian? Who's really going to want an MLS card? Is there really any use for this right now before we get league SBCs or anything? A daily SBC sent it to the moon. And with those coins, you can reinvest in more and more cards. And if you're under 10K coins, if you don't have a lot of coins already, this can be a very easy way of not only making coins at the moment with mass bidding and selling your duplicates, you can also go to your club, find the things that sell for a lot more, and reinvest more throughout the week that way. So we know daily SBCs send things up in price. We know you can mass bid and get a lot of these cards, but there's another aspect of this method that we are missing out on if we only do that, and that is the higher end silver commons. And how we can get these is instead of mass bidding, we want to look for the buy nows within basically the first few seconds they're listed. We want to look for a lot of top nations. We want to look for a lot of top leagues, a lot of 70 plus ratings. If we can mix those things together, that's really good. Those are the things that are going to be harder to win on bid for cheap. And those are going to be things that are used more commonly in a lot of SBC solutions. So I'm currently market banned right now when it comes to bidding. So I can actually bid. But let me show you an example of what this looks like. So if we go to the absolute first few seconds of the 59th minute, here is a Spurs player. We know it's the women's league, but that card looks like it could most likely sell for within the hour very easily 350. We'd probably list for 400 plus. That would be a double our coins if we wanted to trade with it right now. But in terms of an investment, think of when Spurs will get a marquee matchup. If you chucked in your club, that card would easily be 1,000 plus. Very easy coins there. We can refresh this once again, go to the 59th minute, look for other top nations, look for other top leagues. Here's a Spanish card, center back, 72 rated in the Saudi League. Boom, already goes for 350 plus. You could probably get 400 plus within the hour if you lazy listed it. If that became an SBC solution some point tonight, it'd go for even more. So these are the sort of cards you'd probably miss out on when it comes to bidding, but we snipe them. We can put them in the club as an investment or flip them now for easy coins. That becomes next level club stocking, and you really do get so many more cards. This also helps you when you struggle to get 150 bids. Today was a perfect example. We had a time where the Prime Silver Players Pack that refreshes every week right now on the menus on Saturdays, refreshed, we got a lot of supply. We won a lot of 150 bids, but then everyone started bidding 150 and it became very difficult to win cards. Allowing us to do 200 buy nows instead of the 200 bids. If we did 200 bids, we'd probably bid on a bunch of stuff that realistically, if it's an off league, if it's an off nation, you could pick up 150 eventually. We'll rise, we'll have value for sure, but these things are the more guaranteed. And on top of that, when you start club stocking these more and more, we found a method where you can flip these really easily on your transfer list. So we had a guy try this as an example on stream. What he essentially did was he did this with center backs. He went to center backs on the market and he went to 200 buy now. He'd snipe every center back that popped up for 200. And not only would he store them in the club, he'd get a full transfer list going. And what he did was he didn't check the compare price. He didn't see how much it went for because a lot of these cards already went for 300 within the hour. He just listed for a 400 buy now for 100 cards, and he got 25 plus to sell within the first hour. And after that, you could continue to relist, put more cards on there, and he did that nonstop, essentially doubling his coins with just cards that he was picking up here. Not an investment, just a trade, just a flip, just a snipe. And that is so pivotable, is that the correct way to say it? Pivotable. To make coins, especially low end, but to get these things in your club and really take this to the next level of club stocking and to see where that additional value is. You could do this with goalkeepers. Goalkeepers are in almost every SBC solution. Basically any top nation you could do this for. We're going to get into the habit of lazy listing more. Here's a center back who's from League One. Boom. Looks like he's already 500 plus within the hour. This is crazy, not only in terms of making coins in the moment, but club stocking, because these are the cards that will go absolutely to the moon more than other ones usually. So after that, what do I recommend in terms of making more coins? Because you could sit there for hours and never run out of players. We did this on stream. We had like a 6.5 hour stream. I did foot champs for like an hour. I had 5+ hours where we were sitting on the menus bidding and sniping, bro. Our club got 1,000 plus more silvers in it. And that's absolutely wild. And once you start getting more coins from that, you go to the next level of wanting to pick up things that would get more value. We talk about BPM, right? I made a video on how to make unlimited coins on BPM. We talk about doing that sort of silver thing on the side can make you really good coins. And then with that profit, you can just spam BPM as an investment where you're putting a lot of the top nations, a lot of the cards you don't have already in your club. Then if there's some duplicate players that can sell for a little bit of coins, sweet, put on the transfer list. But mainly we'd quick sell those or make bronze upgrades because we didn't want to waste a bunch of our transfer list space with a bronze for 200 not selling. We wanted to instead have a lot of those silvers on there that are getting a few hundred coins per card within the hour. That's tens of thousands of coins throughout the hour. That's potentially 100K plus a day if we're constantly listing more and more. On top of that, we're getting a lot of bronze rare top nations that go for good SBCs, good prices for daily SBCs. We're making a ton of coins, and I can show you some examples of this right here. We had an SBC come out the other day where you needed 9 rares. You needed 7 golds in the SBC, but you needed 9 rares. I was selling at low prices. A lot of these were 2K plus. So a lot of our top nations went to the moon, which was great. We sold them, and even some of them are still up. But when it comes to getting them back in the club, spamming BPM is probably not going to get all of them. So what I would recommend is like the next level of kind of club stocking. You have 2 options. You can either go to the transfer list again. We can go bronze rare. We can go top nation of each. And if things are already up, we can just go to a 200 buy now and get every single one, make coins out of it in the moment. But if like right now, a lot of these might go to the end of the hour for 200, mass bid 150, especially if you know each card's different and you know you don't have them yet. You can bid on quite a few for 150 without really running into duplicates. But after that, you're going to miss out on some more unless you do something like this. So what we're going to set up is we're going to go to bronze rare. And if we just go to concepts, we're going to notice the highest rated cards here. We can put all the top nations we see. We can put all the good leagues for league SBCs we want. But I would personally do this nation by nation. If we know a lot of nations go up, mainly the top ones, meaning like England, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, France, Argentina, Brazil, Germany, all these, we could start by doing this. We could go to Spain concept, and all 64 rated bronze rares we can start putting on this list, put them on your bench, and we can go here, and if it's on the market for 200 coins, pick it up, store it in your club. Completely forget you have it, so the next time we have a player SBC that sends these to the moon, not only do you have one of them, you have basically every single high-end one. You can do this with 63 rated, 62 rated. Heck, you could even do this for every bronze rare you don't already have. Obviously, doing this with hundreds upon hundreds will be hard to do it in your concepts, but you get the point. You could switch this with the English ones. You could switch this with the French ones. There's going to be so many. You might have 20 in your club that go for crazy coins. There might be 100 more on the market that you're missing out on simply because you're not winning them on bid. You're not getting them in bronze pack method. And when they're low in price, you can treat it as the investment and put them in your club. Same thing applies to League SBC cards. Again, if you want to see our silver video, you can. If you want to see our League SBC video from last year, how we made so many coins on the Premium Mixed League upgrade, highly recommend you give that a watch. But same thing applies to League SBCs. I'll give you an example. Next kind of investment after you do that, we could go to the Libertadores. We could go to the Sudamericana. These are leagues that when they were out last year for League SBCs, a lot of the bronze rares and a lot of the silver rares were needed because there was a minimum rare requirement in the repeatable SBC, meaning you had to use at least a certain amount. And if we go in here, we could concept a lot of these players. And at the time, these might not be a lot right now, right? You could win these on bid for 150 very easily. They might not sell for 200. But I kid you not, there's times where every single bronze rare and silver rare were 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus, 3,000 plus. They get crazy in price. And right now, as the investment side of things, if you can chuck one of each in your club right now for 150, not only is it a good investment for League SBCs, but you'll still have these show up in SBC solutions for random daily SBCs that you can shoot to the moon, sell it, and then reinvest accordingly. So we're trying to tap all these different areas. The bronze rare market, the silver common market. We can do the same exact logic with silver rares if we wanted to do top nations for those. We had basically every, I think, Spain silver rare go to 1,000 plus the other day for the SBC. So we could use the same logic there. We could go to Spain. We could go to, geez, I'm messing this up so badly. Silver rare. Oh, I have Lib still selected. We could look at all the highest rated ones here, which maybe don't show up on bid or just an easy buy now. But if we look here, we got some interesting ones where there's a Spanish card who is 74 rated, but he's in the Serie A. So he'd link to a lot of Italians. But if you had an SBC come out where you needed a lot of the same nation, a lot of chemistry, but they had to be different leagues, this is going to be a harder to get a hold of. And if we look at his price, minimum he can go for is 350. If we look, he's already, what, 550 within the hour. This is one that if we picked up on bid for 300 to 350 in bulk with all silver rare Spanish cards, he'd already be coins in the moment, but the investment side of things could go to the absolute moon. Also, too, with silver rares, silver commons, another step that you can include in the club stock and just kind of seeing where value comes from is we have silver tournaments coming soon. We have Evos that are going to fit exactly silvers. A lot of people have favorite teams that aren't just Premier League teams, or if they are a fan of a Premier League team, there's silvers they're going to want to use in there. They're not all just going to be the most meta gold card in the game. Not everyone's a Messi fan. Not everyone's a Ronaldo fan. Some people really like Noah Siddiqui, like I do, who plays for Sunderland. And his card, if we go to the market right now and use the same logic, want to club stock these, if we go to his card right here, I picked them up for 600 coins. If we compare price, we could probably get some on bid as well. But look at that. Almost double his price within the hour he could potentially go for right now. These are the sort of things you can do over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm going to sound like a broken record. I'm going to sound like I'm harping on you guys. It is that easy. It might be boring to you. It might make so much sense and it's so simple that you think surely it doesn't work. Or is it worth the time? I'm telling you, dudes, the freest coins in the world. All these different things. Even if cards are up in price. If we get League SBCs and all the Lib and Sud bronze rares and silver rares are now 1,000 plus, like I said before, guess what you get to do now? You have a filter where you can make unlimited coins just sniping them off the market. If they're all 1,000 plus, you now have access to a trading tip and a snipe in that moment where you have even more guaranteed value and you can just easily flip them. But if you notice prices are down, like let's say they fell 500 coins throughout the day, you have a feeling that they normally go back up later in the evening because you've noticed that the past few days, you now could snipe a bunch of silver libs, store them in your club, treat as an investment and later in the day, or throughout the day lazy list for a few hundred more, get a full transfer list, and boom, you're making more coins than you did before. Over and over and over again. Doesn't stop there. If you're doing BPM, if you're doing any sort of club stock, if you're looking at manager prices because BPM's heavily carried by super expensive managers, you'll notice there's a lot of time French managers are like 3K or extinct, or Brazil ones are 3K and extinct. Right now, let's take a look at French ones. French ones earlier were over 3,000 coins. Guess what they are right now? They are way under that. They are actually under 2K. If we look, they go within 5-10 minutes for 2,000 coins. That's great in terms of if you want to invest in these, you know without a doubt there's going to be a time these go back up. You could chuck one of each in your club right now. When you see they're back up, boom. If it's 3,000 plus, you instantly get 1,000 plus for each one of them when you sell them from the club stock. You could look for other leagues on these. If there's a La Liga, if there's a Premier League thing in here, because they have their base league, right? Looks like both of these are the Women's French League. But if we looked at the same price, we could potentially have other managers pop up. If we maybe go 100 above, maybe we see other leagues pop up here. Those are going to be even more valuable because usually people have to buy those off the market. Here's an NWSL. NWSL might carry more value to it later. Let's say there's a really nice NWSL SBC that comes out. Let's say it's a Brazilian card. Let's say it's Dabinia. I love Dabinia in the game right now, the gold. Let's say people have mainly a French team or mainly a League One team and they want to link. So this manager might be perfect for that because it has French and it has NWSL. It might have a premium of another 500 coins on it. Boom. That investment side of things makes you a ton of coins as the club stock. Not only that, we just showed you that everything goes within 5 minutes for 2,000. Let's say you want to make a minimum right now of 200 coins per card. I could sit at a 1.8. I'll sit here for just a minute while I'm talking and explain this. But I did this the other day, and I'll show you an example. There's one for 1.8. I would have won that if I'm not bid banned. I could list that to the market for 2,000, 2.1. Easy coins there. Another 200 coins. Another 200 coins. Over and over and over again, you can just snipe these cards. 1.5. We would have been right on that. Another additional 500 plus coins. And it sounds like you'd think in your head it's going to be impossible to win these. Surely everybody's on them nonstop. I was doing this with the same kind of price range on the cards earlier. They were 2.3K. As you see here, I was selling a lot of these managers for 2.3. Brazil was around the same price as well. Look at this. I sniped a Brazil manager for 400. I sniped another one for 250. Sniped another one for 600. Sniped another Brazil one for 200. Absolute crazy coins as a sniping tip in the moment, as an investing tip. And you could do that over and over just paying attention to manager prices. You literally could do this in any area. You could do this with chem styles. You could snipe chem styles. If you notice anchors are normally 2K, and they've been 2K for the longest time, you notice there's a lightning round where there was a mega pack or a rare mega pack, so a lot of rare consumables are now in the market, and now you notice the buy now's down like 500 coins. That seems very low, and then an hour later, all these bids come in. There's a lot of 1,000 bids, and you can win those. You are learning the market in all these different areas. But the cool thing with consumables is, let's say you have 1 million plus coins. You could put unlimited consumables in your storage. You don't have to get one of each and then you're at your limit. You could literally get thousands upon thousands of a consumable. Obviously, there's a risk. It could go down in price and you could lose a crap ton on that investment. But you could store as many as you want. So if you are confident in terms of the price of a chem style and that was your market, you could put hundreds or thousands in the club, like I said before. Same thing applies to manager leagues we were talking about. If you're really into manager trading, you're noticing like, hey, the Prem League on there is a really huge premium. I wonder how much the Prem managers go for. Let's go to the Prem manager market. We could look at specific managers with Prem on the league to get an idea of what they go for. We could go to the consumable and get an idea if we had the manager league, what it could potentially go for. We have all these extra resources that we can put together to understand how we can make more value for the existing cards we have in our club while club stocking. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I could talk forever on this. I could go over other specific managers. I could spam BPM and see that a Ivory Coast manager is up, so then we could then sit there and snipe Ivory Coast managers and have an understanding that, okay, when this SBC comes out or this SBC is leaked, let's say it's a South Korean player. Let's say we're getting Sun, a MLS LA Galaxy Sun SBC is coming out. People are probably going to want that South Korean manager. That MLS is probably going to be at a premium too. People are going to want that league. Can we combine those things together? If the MLS card is only 150 coins on the market, but every MLS manager is an additional 500 coins, you could put those things together where it's like, hey, I'm going to take the South Korean manager, I'm going to snipe it, I'm going to put 150 coins, MLS thing on him, and now he's a premium and he sells for maybe 1,000 additional coins because you did that extra work to put on the card. It's the same way people might do the chem styles on a player. If you're trying to buy a center back and it's a base card, a basic chem style, and you want to put a shadow on it, shadows might be 3K on the market, but you might find some cards on there where if you want to buy one with a shadow, it has a bonus price to it. So again, when it comes to club stocking, think about all these different things. And again, started as simple as just the silver common method with some snipes and bids. And we slowly worked our way to other areas of the market. We slowly understood where the value came in. We slowly understood how people are playing on their accounts, how they buy things, what they want. And then from that, we can make a lot of coins off of them. So if you guys have any questions, this has already been a 20+ minute video. I hope this is helpful. This is basically how I'm going to run my account for the whole year. Obviously, as the year goes on and we get League SBCs, I'm going to focus on making a bunch of League SBC packs. But when it comes to stocking things in your club, that is going to be a huge deal. So don't sleep on silvers, both rare and common. Don't sleep on gold commons either. You could do the same thing with gold common. You could do top leagues. You could do top nations, because when a daily SBC comes out, when a marquee matchup comes out, you need certain leagues or you need a lot of the same nation. Those things fly to the moon, and then you can reinvest accordingly. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, these sort of tips are the things that make me 10 million plus coins every single year. Mainly I do silvers, but it falls into other areas where we can make a lot of coins too, as you see. If silvers are down one day or you're not winning bids at the level you want, you can easily switch to managers. Maybe you're just chilling there watching Netflix while you're sniping managers. You're winning a crap ton. And then boom, silver market drops even more. You now can go in and get every silver for 150. You can fluctuate. Yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. It's been your boy MumboElite. I'm out. God bless.